Broad Street Review podcast is an extension of Broad Street Review, Philly's home for arts, culture, and conversation, an online arts and culture journal covering the greater Philadelphia area. I'm your host, Darnell Radford. Today on the podcast, Sully Hullum stops in to talk about the Wilma Theater production of the Half-God of Rainfall by Inua Ellams, directed by Lindsay Smiling, on stage through March 2nd. Here is my interview with Sully Hullum for the Half-God of Rainfall. And welcome to the podcast. I'm your host, Darnell Radford, and today I'm in the virtual studio to talk about Wilma Theater's next production, The Half-God of Rainfall. It's by Inua Ellams. It is directed by Lindsay Smiling. It is on stage through March 2nd, and I am here in the virtual studio with Sully Hullum. Sully, welcome back to the podcast network.
Oh, it's so good to be here.
I was trying to think ahead of time, like, when was the last time we chatted? It's been that long, but I'm so glad to have you back in the studio.
Great, back, hooray!
Yeah, so let's do a quick check-in with Sully. What has Sully been up to? How was 24? How was that? And here we are towards the end of January. How has everything been up to this point?
Oh, it's going great. I am working on a new piece. I'm writing. I have a commission with People's Light, and I'm partnering with another HotHouse member, Melanie Finister.
Yay, we love Melanie.
Yeah, don't we love Mel? Mel and I have been in HotHouse together for years, and just wanted to cook up something. We've never been on stage together.
Oh, well.
So we're about to solve that. That's about to be solved very soon, actually, because we're doing Archduke together, which will be the next show that you and I talk about tonight. But yeah, so Mel and I are making a play together called The Woman Question. You can look out for in 2026.
Great.
Yeah, and then working on HotHouse stuff here at the Wilma, and spent the end of 2024 getting excited about the Half-God of Rainfall.
Awesome. It was fun to have you guys in exile for rehearsals. I just heard a lot of balls bouncing, and just a lot of shouting, like after someone makes a basket. Oh, no!
Yes.
So we know it's going to be high energy.
Yeah. Certainly.
So as a member of the HotHouse, you're also head of HotHouse training. So talk about that.
Yeah. So this is a new position. The head of HotHouse professional training. My job is to organize, coordinate, and spread the word about the professional training that we offer to the community. So as you know, the HotHouse started as a group of folks who were brought together to train. It was founded by Blanca Zizka, founding artistic director of the Wilma. And over the years, we've really refined some techniques and approaches that people see on our stage, and we're really motivated to share that training with the Philadelphia community and beyond. So we offer a range of classes for folks who are curious, beginners, up to professional level adults who want to come take classes with us. And then we do an intensive in the summer where folks come from all over the country to train in our methods. So I'm the head of organizing all that stuff.
That's great. Yeah, I was talking to a new colleague, and there were members of Wilma around us, and I said, Wilma has this great HotHouse. It's like their in-house team, and the kind of training that they do in that space. If a HotHouse member is in your show, it's going to be a great show.
Oh, that's beautiful. Thanks.
I think you guys just bring. I love how that training is at the Wilma, but it also carries with you throughout the community. And so we are all beneficiaries of HotHouse training. So thank you, Blanca, for putting that together.
Yeah. And you come take class, Darnell?
Yeah. Hey, that would be fun. I'm going to look at that schedule and see what I can do.
Good.
Okay. So we're here to talk about the Half-God of Rainfall by Inua Ellams. Tell us about the show.
So the Half-God of Rainfall was originally conceived and published as an epic poem. Inua is a poet, a spoken word artist, and he created this work and performed it himself as a solo piece, and then also published it as an epic poem. And a couple years ago, I believe it was the first stage adaptation was at New York Theater Workshop. So Lindsay found this script. Lindsay Smiling, our co-artistic director here at the Wilma, found this script and was like, "Oh, this feels very Wilma. This feels very house." Because we're really drawn to big epic stories. We're really drawn to ensemble storytelling, and we really love to dig into language. And Inua is Nigerian, British. And this was a story and a perspective that we hadn't had on our stage yet. And everybody was really, really excited about that. And what Inua is exploring is the intersection of his obsession with basketball, mythology, and Marvel movies.
I love that.
Yeah, so it's really and Lindsay's take on it in conversation with Inua is an Afrofuturist take. Inua has there's a really beautiful vision inside of the piece, and it's extremely playful and gets very deep, and so it's a big challenge for us, but it's also a great joy. Yeah, and Inua came and played with us.
Oh yeah, that's what I was about to say. I met him very briefly, but didn't know who he was. Yeah, I said they're in there.
Yeah, and at the end of that day, he said, and we have a wonderful choreographer and assistant director, Ontaria, and she was doing some movement stuff with us when Inua walked in, and he said, "As soon as I saw you guys moving together, I knew that I'd found my tribe again."
Wow, awesome.
Yeah, and then he really has given us, because this is only the second time. I'm pretty sure this is only the second time that it's being performed as an ensemble piece. He encouraged Lindsay to experiment with the assignment of lines, who says what the rhythm of it is. So we have a lot of freedom to play in service of the language. Yeah, so it's exciting.
Cool. So I always like, what were your first thoughts the first time you read the piece, and when was the first time you read the piece? Was it the first table read, or was it before then?
Well, we have a chance in HotHouse sessions. We meet once a week, and we often will read plays that are under consideration as a group, and then have conversations about them. So we all read this as a group a while back. When it was under consideration, and had such a great conversation about it. Everyone, so oftentimes we'll read something and the room might be divided, and then we have like a really spirited conversation about it, or, people have concerns or reservations. Or this piece, we read it and everyone was like, "Oh, like, we have to do this." So that was really exciting. And I think the thing that was the most profound about it was how Inua is drawing from stories that we know so well. The Greek mythology that we're so steeped in as a culture. And then there's Yoruba, Orisha mythology that was less familiar to the group at large. You know, some people had access to it and some people didn't. So that beautiful thing of like feeling something really familiar and then coming into contact with something new and then having those things shake and bounce and crash up against each other is really exciting. And the play, I will tell you, like, we got to a certain moment in the play and people audibly gasped. I'm not going to tell you what happens. No spoilers, but it shakes. It shakes you. It shakes you. And as storytellers, you know, we tell stories for a living. When you read somebody's work and they have managed to shake you just with storytelling, just with a turn, an unexpected turn, and you're like, oh, and your whole worldview kind of shifts. Okay, that's probably good theater. Let's do that.
Makes you want to know so much more about the writer. I must study you.
Yeah.
How did this come out of you? This is wonderful.
Well, that was so awesome.
Yeah.
When we found out he was going to come, because it really, getting to know him, the piece is so close to him in the sense that, like, the way spoken word is close, the spoken word poem is close to the poet who speaks, right? It has there's no distance. And that's how close this piece is to Inua. So it was really important for us to meet him.
Well, I think it's always great when you get access to the playwright. How long are you all able to work with the playwright?
He was with us for the day. But he's in contact with Lindsay and they're having conversations and so that Lindsay, like, if Lindsay comes up with a new thought or he's like, oh, maybe we're going to do this a little differently, he's able to have that conversation with anyone, and then he's going to come back and see the show. So
yeah,
he loved. I don't know if you saw, there was a trailer that the Wilma made.
For this show, yeah, I saw it.
Did you see that?
It's pretty awesome.
It's pretty cool. And it really gets at the Afrofuturist. Like it's and Lindsay shared it with anyone. He was like, "Oh my god, that should be my new pitch deck for like this." Is
okay. When I saw that, I was like, "Who made that? That is awesome, wonderful." Yeah. Listeners, I'll have a link in the chat. It's the show page, and you can see that promo. It's really awesome.
Yeah. So it was great to know that like Inua was like, that.
Yeah.
That's the vibe.
So our lead character is Demi.
Yeah.
Right. Who is half Nigerian mortal and half Greek god.
Yes.
And is obsessed with basketball.
Yes. Has the powers on the court
to hold it down.
Yeah.
I imagine being a half Greek god is going to help you on the basketball court.
Doesn't hurt.
Yeah. But your character's name is Hera.
Ooh.
And Hera is a familiar name in Greek mythology. I think Hera was just mentioned in the Apple TV series Mythic Quest, which is, dives into a crazy world of gaming and pulls all this mythology to tell their stories. And so when I saw your name Hera, and I was like, wait a minute. So everyone's jumping into mythology and
right,
using it to tell current stories.
It's interesting how many there's so much pop culture that's specifically drawing from and also Norse mythology. Like there's a Norse god that makes an appearance in this. Yeah, so I play a couple different characters, but and we're all storytellers. Also, that's everyone in the cast is functions
moving the story forward.
Yeah, as a storyteller.
Great.
So I dip in and out of these characters, and one of the characters that I play is Hera, who is the Greek goddess who is partnered with Zeus, who's a name that people are pretty familiar with. And Hera, the mythology around Hera and Zeus is really intense. Zeus fathers a lot of children. He fathers a lot of non-consensual. He has a lot of non-consensual relationships.
Does he? Yes.
And Hera is it tends to exact revenge, not on Zeus, but on the innocent folks, who have been born as a result of Zeus's behavior. And so Inua's really interested in her character and the complicity. He's really looking at power dynamics and power structures. Hera, in this piece, Hera has a really interesting and nuanced journey. And ultimately, Inua is offering a vision of how we can maybe escape the bonds of these narratives that have been passed down for so long. And Hera is involved in breaking that cycle. Yeah, we're going to take that liberty. Yeah, so that's really exciting for me. And I also play Perseus and Hercules and Ares. No. Keep track of the group. It's a lot.
There's so many supporting characters.
Yeah.
Don't worry, listeners. This is why we're buying tickets right now, so we can clarify it all for ourselves.
I meant to say Hermes. I'm like, Ares. Hermes. I play Hermes, the messenger, the fleet-footed messenger with the winged sandals.
Great. So, everyone I know in the Hot House is a load of fun. So I can only imagine that the rehearsal process is a load of fun, even though you're all working so intensely. So take us into the room and give us a little bit of what rehearsal is like for this production.
Well, there's a lot of physicality. So we start every rehearsal with a good warm up and some strengthening, and then we move through all of the dances together, which is really fun, and then also into some really beautiful movement sections, primarily performed by Demi and Modupe, who is Demi's mother, played by the wonderful Jessica Johnson. Anthony Martinez-Briggs is our Demi. And then we get into the staging, and it's the space is really striking. And there are so many of us on stage that a lot of the work that we've been doing is figuring out how we can all hold the story together and keep it moving, and find the really dynamic shifts for all of our bodies through space without taking away from the power of the language. So one of the most exciting things that happened yesterday was we were making all these big physical proposals, and then they kind of fell away as we were working, and we got down just to the simplicity of staging that allowed the words to really ring out. And those moments are always really beautiful. We keep getting really inspired when the rhyme, we're going along and then the rhyme scheme kind of like emerges and everyone hears it. And we're like, yeah, poetry. Hooray, poetry.
That's great.
Yeah.
Do you have any, like, are there key moments in the piece that resonate with you more, or like every time you get to that, you're like, this is gonna, no words. They're on the page, but I don't have any words.
Yeah. There's some epic battles. There's some epic battles that happen. And every time, like, wow, this is amazing. That the words are flying so fast and furious. And there's all this huge physicality, and mortals are facing off against gods. And it's like, yeah, it's really exciting. I love it.
So we will not be bored. Check that off. You listeners, if you're wondering if you're going to be bored at this show, you're not going to be bored at this show. Why would they put it on stage if you're going to be bored? All of this is exciting. So can you let us in on Lindsay Smiling, director, on his vision for this piece?
Yeah, absolutely. It's such a treat to get to work with Lindsay this way, because we've gotten to be on stage together a lot. And we're actually I think Lindsay's the tallest HotHouse member, and I'm maybe tied with Bijan as the shortest HotHouse member. The directors often like to pair us up because they're like, oh, that'll be fun. But all jokes aside, it's really a joy to be on stage with Lindsay. He's one of the most available and tuned in actors that I've ever worked with, and he is bringing all of that to his work as a director. Overall, his vision for this piece is for the form to complete and support the content. The message of the piece, I think ultimately, this is where Lindsay is guiding us to, is that we are more powerful together than we are alone. That the myth of the individual success is not going to be useful to us moving forward. And that we really need to tap into our collective power, and even to reach across divides and across distance and across hurt, and heal together and join forces together. So the staging, the vision for the piece is very much that. It's very much a group of people who are joining with the audience to bring a story to life, and that we need, please come, because we need you in order to complete the circle, so that the
audience, the missing piece.
That's right. We need the audience to complete the circle so that this story can be told. And yeah, I would say that is the center of Lindsay's vision, and it requires a lot of authenticity and just like showing up as ourselves. Yeah.
That's great. And I think that vision is going to resonate with so many people right now. We are I guess we're getting close to 5 years past the pandemic, and organizations and people in general are like different than they were in 2019. And there are conversations of thinking we had this moment where we were separated to keep ourselves safe, and now we're trying to get back to the way we used to engage with people before. And there's so many people thinking about, like, I guess I was solitary in this space before, and now that all this has happened, I am thinking about how to be closer to the people that matter to me the most. Organizations are thinking about how can they work together to, to keep themselves afloat.
Yeah.
And so on. And so, yeah, the conversation about joining joining in community has been like the running through line in our community, I believe.
That's so true. And we're all of us theater people are talking about how to connect, how to reconnect with our audiences, or how to connect with new audiences. And I think that this piece is a wonderful it's a wonderful way back in. It's a wonderful back in theater. It's one act,
Yeah.
it flies. And it'll,
you hear that, listeners? It's a one act,
know?
And Wilma loves to have your attention for a long period of time, but it'll be just as meaningful.
Yeah, this one, and it's got, there are some challenging themes in it, but we're really excited. We've been doing a lot of work, a lot of outreach and preparing for our high school students to come. It's definitely a show that appeals to young people and will get young people thinking and talking and considering about issues that are close to their heart. It is ultimately about joy and uplift. So yeah, we're really looking forward to having people in the theater for this one.
That's great. And to our listeners, go to the link that's in the show notes. Go right now. Go right ahead. And you can see a list of events that are tied to the production. There are relaxed performances. There's a Black Affinity night. There's childcare matinees. There's a couple of events like the Let Out and the open mic and cafe chats. There's so many ways to continue the conversation that this piece is bringing to the stage and that these artists are bringing to life. So there are so many ways for you to get in here if you click that link in the chat.
Come see it and then say hi to me after the show.
Absolutely. Yes. Suli, everyone, this is going to be a short interview because I somehow got Suli to come out of rehearsal and chat with me very quickly about the Half-God of Rainfall. And if you know Wilma's the regional Tony winning Wilma Theater. They work so intently that I'm so fortunate to get their time. So, Suli, before we wrap up and I send you back to rehearsal, is there anything else you want to say about this piece, about you and where you are in general?
Oh, just that it's been such a pleasure to talk to you, and thanks for your curiosity. It means a lot to us. Thanks, Turner.
Absolutely. Okay, everybody. So that's the Half-God of Rainfall by Inua Ellams. It is directed by Lindsay Smiling. It is on stage through March 2nd. And you can get your tickets by going to wilmatheater.org. And I said tickets, plural, because theater is more fun with a +1. So, Suli Ellams, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me today. And I will release you back to rehearsal. Please give the HotHouse a lot of love from Emery.
I will. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Suli. It's been truly a pleasure. Thank you to our guest, Suli Ellams, for joining us on today's podcast. The Broad Street Review podcast is an Emery production. If you would like to be a guest on the podcast, visit us online at em3ry.com. Get involved with Broad Street Review. Head on over to our website at www.broadstreetreview.com and click Get Involved at the top. While you're there, help keep us running and click Donate to find out how. There, you can also find our social media links. Thank you for your part in keeping the conversation going.